this on thing.
Pick up the phone, call too easy. I gotta give you a beat.
Okay.
Come to the strip club.
Hey.
Come watch the girls dance.
Yeah.
Come give the girls
Wait,
cash.
who's this?
Come with the rap for us. Come
Gets.
to the strip club. Come watch the
Coil
girls
Ray.
dance. Come give the
Am I
girls
right?
cash. Come.
I'm a rat.
No.
You didn't
Moon.
even know.
Moonchild Sanelli.
You didn't even know.
I didn't know.
You had to check your
It's-
phone.
Yeah, of course. This came out yesterday.
Don't.
Oh, it just came out.
Yeah, it just came out.
Okay,
fresh
okay,
song.
okay.
Fresh song.
I was looking in his eyes. I don't trust him when he says things. Like,
Fresh song. Fresh song. Fresh song.
you don't know research for this. You just
Right.
found the first song.
Anyway, welcome to episode 4 of your girl's Crusty Foot with myself, Yuri, Mr. T, and our special guest today.
Jelani in the building.
Cheese, cheese.
Yeah.
We love that. Let's go.
Let's do this. Yeah.
So how you doing, though?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm just here. You get me? I'm enjoying the weather right now.
Okay.
You get me? The weather got my tempo on a good tempo. Got me on a good frequency.
Nice.
So
nice.
I'm
So
gonna.
we picked a good day for you.
Do you get me? Definitely, man.
That's it.
Definitely.
That's it. I
Just
see you come out fresh today in that Beamer, looking like money.
hopefully, man. Hopefully, I'm trying to be the money. You get me?
Okay,
I'm working at it.
okay.
I'm working at it. But yeah, man. Day by day.
Federal indictments. Say less.
Oh man.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
What's your name?
Jelani is my name. Jelani.
Cool. That's cool. I just had to take it in for a second. I've known you for a long time. It's the first time I heard that one. I don't know. You know, it is with my youngest. It's like, yeah, you know, everyone grows and changes. They have new AKAs and new names all the time. You got to refresh. Click the refresh button.
The
Sometimes.
refresh
Yes,
button.
yeah.
That's why I didn't say the name. I just
Let me introduce
you
myself.
get me.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So
You know
like,
what I mean?
so like, I don't really do tag names. Yeah. I just think like tag names.
So what's Jelani?
Jelani's not a tag name.
Oh, it's your
It's
name.
an alias.
Oh,
Yeah.
what's the difference?
Like a tag name is like, you know, like I don't know, 2 shots or so, you know what I mean, innit? But obviously my name is Jelani, so it's still a name. So if I introduce myself to someone or if someone's speaking of me,
nigga
it's
logic.
Jelani. Do you get me? Yeah, that's the nigga logic. So it's like
Okay.
the way I see it is like, okay, that's a name. So someone who doesn't know me would think that's my name.
Right.
Obviously I might be in circles whereby I don't want to just come with a if you like a childish tag name. Do you know what I mean? Or how'd you get that tag? Or how'd you? So it's just like, yeah, Jelani. It's an alias.
Interesting.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
interesting.
Yeah, that's the logic behind it.
Okay, so if the name is like a name which could be a government name, it's
It's an alias.
an alias. If it's like you say,
like
2
a
shots,
stupid name.
Yeah.
forehead, like if it's
Yeah.
okay, so that is the divide.
Shankers or something like that. Yeah,
Okay.
then that's just a straight. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Can I ask where Jelani came from?
Do you know what? Yeah. All right, cool. I'm being honest now.
Are you fucking up? Are you just fucking up all of your side chick situations right now?
I'm not, you know. I'm not. Actually, what side chick situation? What are you
I
speaking
don't.
of? I don't know what you're speaking
know.
of.
I don't know, bro. But generally, my other name was always like something closely related to my name, like Tyrese, Tyrone, whatever. But I would not go on a podcast and be like, oh shit. Actually, this is my fake name, like, because it would have blown up a lot of stuff in my heyday.
Yeah.
I say you're still in your heyday right now.
Right.
That's interesting. You know, that's a question for later on. When does a man come into his emotional maturity?
True.
God damn,
But
true.
yeah, anyway.
God
But
damn,
yeah, go on,
Yuri.
carry on.
So I feel like
I'm gonna come back.
Come back to that one, yeah, exactly.
to that.
I just wanted to throw that one out there for now. But yeah, go on.
I mean, to be honest with you, I feel like it wouldn't blow me up in any way because Jelani is not known for any kind of badness or any kind of anything, you know,
but
any
having
real wrongdoing,
a
even
couple,
with the gal or
but having a couple side chicks isn't badness. It's just life.
yeah. I mean, to be fair,
When you're
girls
in
that
your
girls that I talk to, that you know, any girl. I mean, this might be blowing me up, but they will know my real name. Do you get me? If it's like if there's anything there, they'll know my real name. I have no problem with like disclosing my real name.
Okay.
Have you ever been in a situation where like you told a chick a fake name and then like, you know, like a year later, she's still around?
Yes. And it's like, right, how do we move from here now?
Yeah, bro. I've been in ones where, you know, girls come to your yard and she's seen like the letters. And it's just like,
Yeah. Oh, so who's this?
and it's been so long now, you can't correct the name. And now it's just like, where? What do you say?
And that's where the whole alias thing kicks in. It's like, oh no, that's my alias. Like everybody knows me as X. That's what. Do you know what I mean? So
That's-
I'm giving you that name. Yeah.
Okay.
But now you know me well enough. So this is also my government name. Do you know what I mean? So you can kind of use it as an in. Like look, you're getting the bringing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
No,
That's
salute that. Respect that. Yeah.
What about you? You got any aliases?
Well, I'm a little bit. I'll be honest. I'm a little bit like, I'm not sure what age it came, but there's a point where I was just like it just became like hard work. So unless I'm really like on some out of town, just like I don't know, having fun with it. Like it's not like an essential no more. You know what I mean? So
See, for me, it's always been easy. My name's Yuri, but like that's what since I've been in primary school, because the teacher couldn't pronounce my full name, she called me Yuri.
Right.
So it's actually pronounced Uyi,
okay.
or the full
Okay.
Uyi, or the full version Omori. Yeah.
that's
what's the full-
Omori.
Omori.
Yeah.
That's easy to pronounce.
oh, that's
Omori.
mad easy. I know.
No,
but
yeah,
white
yeah,
people, you
but
know.
white people. So obviously it's spelled UYI. Yeah.
Right.
That's the short version.
Yeah.
Uyi. But in Nigeria, in Benin, it's Uyi. But here, she
now
couldn't
when I'm just
pronounce
calling
the
you
oo.
Uy, I'm
She
just
couldn't
calling you
pronounce
Uy.
the oo.
So you're Nigerian.
Yeah, I'm from Benin.
Oh,
You didn't know that?
Nigeria,
I didn't know
Benin.
that,
Yeah.
you know.
Right,
Edo State.
you of all people, your Nigerian censor should have picked it up. Like,
I didn't know that. I didn't know. It's actually funny because I've got quite a few friends from Benin as well.
Oh, is it?
So yeah, specifically from Benin.
Yeah,
so
man.
it's actually that's
So-
interesting.
so
Okay.
good-
okay.
he's
good state
he's
to
an
be here from.
adopted Nigerian. Like, I think
James?
95%. Yeah.
I'm half Jamaican, half Guyanese. Yeah. There is
Yeah, I mean, like, he's literally got the same heritage as me.
But
like, I've never seen him with anyone from the islands.
that's
like,
the
all
madness
his
thing
friends.
about
false.
the youth of today, though, T.
That's just the lie.
If you notice, when we were young, when we
Yeah.
were young,
Yeah.
it was obviously the divide was a lot more African and Caribbean.
Yeah.
But now the Caribbeans are more in tune with their African friends than
Yeah.
But I think,
It's
to
mad.
be honest with you, I think it's just a simple case of migration.
yeah.
Do you know what I
it
mean?
is, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like the
Straight up.
Caribbeans came here first,
Yes.
and so that kind of led the culture. The Caribbean culture was, I may be mistaken here, but it was closer to the British culture than Africa. It was closer to the British culture than African culture was.
guess it
Because
would
you know we've
Yeah, I
been
guess so.
assimilated.
Yeah.
Um,
Your food is easy. Your food is a lot more assimilated to the British culture than
Exactly.
the African food. Because like, even till now, eating pounded yam, for example,
Yeah,
is
exactly.
is like
That's- yeah.
is looked at. Oh,
For
that's
a white
that's-
man, if you like,
Yeah,
what's
ooh,
going on?
no,
What's
I'm not
this?
eating
What's
that.
on my fingers?
But obviously, eating
yeah.
rice and peas, eating jerk chicken,
Yeah.
white people were happy with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Most certainly. And I just
Down
think,
to the language.
yeah, exactly. Even down to the language,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the fact that
yeah, it's true.
A lot of the
you all
Caribbeans
speak
speak
English, innit? Realistically,
most of
basically.
the Caribbean,
You
not
don't
all the
have your-
Caribbean. Some of it is French.
yeah,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah,
still
yeah,
a European language.
Yeah, it's a
You know what I'm
European
saying?
language.
You don't really have like an African language like Yoruba,
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
where white people can't understand that.
Yeah,
at all.
exactly.
I'm not gonna lie,
exactly.
What I think, reggae music, I think was like, but border crosser for a lot of it because a lot of them kind of loved, even if they didn't really like black people like that, they still loved a
That
bit
Bob
of Bob.
Marley.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely did help with that. But
Yeah. And then now, obviously, the migration, everyone, a lot more Africans came to this country
yeah,
from the 90s, even from the 80s, from the 90s. And I don't know, we kind of just took over
the thing
in a
is,
sense.
you man were always here. There was always like a lot of African man here. But I'm not gonna lie. See you, you're this generation. You lot let down this generation.
What do you mean?
See, because all you lot were pretending to be Jamaican.
I hear you.
Let's
I
be-
hear
let's be
you.
real.
I hear you.
I always
Like,
heard
hear
it,
you.
and I
People
remember
don't
it.
want to
Yes.
hear that now.
Yeah.
But
I
like
hear
at the
you.
time, it was like they would go out their way to like if a girl was asking, "Where you from?" They'd be like, "Oh, Jamaica." Which part? Kingston. Like, you know what I mean? That
I
was,
hear you. There was a
yeah.
lot of that from my generation. I do
Yeah.
hear that. I hear that. But obviously, it's a mixed one because obviously there's a lot of the Africans that came now came straight from Nigeria. So even though they came straight from Nigeria into college, yeah, and then so they were less, we're Caribbean than the ones that were here from when they were born, if that made sense. Because the ones that were here from when they were born had less of their African heritage, African culture in them, and they had more. Obviously, their black friends that were here had the Caribbean culture, so they were more in tune with that culture, so they rolled with it. So, but the ones that came later on in the 90s, they came straight from school. They came straight from boarding school straight here. So they came with their culture.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So a lot of them you can't. They wouldn't. You know what I mean? They were Nigerian. You see what I'm saying? And then that's what grew.
I found like in the era before, a lot of like the Nigerian youth, a lot of the African boys were like good boys. Like the family would not let them straight outside.
In general, yes. In general, Africans are studious.
Yeah,
and Caribbeans,
and,
because like in my house,
And
any Caribbean came to my house. Any Caribbean came to my house, it's like,
Yeah.
I sense that vibe.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah. I definitely had that.
no matter what they're doing in life,
Yeah.
no matter where they are in school, no matter what they're doing in life, is what's his name? What's his name? Jamin.
And
No.
anything that you do wrong, it's because of
It's
him.
him.
It's his,
It's
his
him, fam.
influence. Yeah.
So obviously in school, I had a lot of Nigerian friends, Deji, Victor, and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they used to come to my house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were cool.
Yeah.
They were all cool. But as soon as like Mervin, and the worst is Mervin was probably better than them lot. Like I said.
Listen, I've even had that. I say recently, up to like 10, 15 years ago, with one of my close friends, who's actually Congolese. I don't want to say his name. He knows who he is, but yeah, I've literally had the exact same thing. Whereby you know, certain things happened and he got into a bit of trouble, and it was kind of like, I mean, look, neither of us were saints, but he was the worst of two evils. And it's like, but it's like as soon as he got into the trouble, it's like, oh, it was me that put him down this path, and it was me that this and me, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, if anything, I was the guy that was like, bro, like let's just leave that. Yeah, let's just leave that. So it's kind of like it kind of came around full circle. Do you know what I mean? So it does. It still kind of happens to this day. But yeah, it is. I think it's probably disappearing because we've got so much social media and so much. I think that everything's kind of becoming more integrated. So I think that stigma is disappearing, at least in the Western world. You know, UK, America. I think that stigma's kind of disappearing. I don't know. It's probably still prominent in Africa.
What were you
I'm
saying
not
in their last show about Americans saying, these
I
immigrants.
was literally thinking about that as you're saying that, because I think like, yeah, it's right. We've become more integrated socially in terms of we got like a joint culture almost now. But then at the same time, you look at America, especially where they got like the old FBA, which is Foundational Black Americans.
Mhm.
And they're pretty much anti anything that's like immigrant Americans. So it's the same kind of thing where you know, in certain time, like you say, like Nigerian parents come over and they be like, these boys over here, these London boys, they're so bad, and they blame everything on the Caribbean youth. So I think the same thing happened there, where immigrants came, they was like,
all the Americans,
they're wasters, they're bad. We come here, we make opportunities there. So I think that was kind of the backlash to that. But yeah, now that movement is kind of picking up a lot of momentum, and it's a shame to me to see like the divides
They're
coming
trying to
back
divide,
in.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's strange. Black people always seem to find a way to divide each other.
Yeah,
But
man.
it's why.
That is very
But
true.
why is that?
That is very true.
Do you think
Because-
we're under pressure more than any other race to kind of have like a joint belief system and a joint like identity? Because I don't see like white people's being like, if one white person thinks that, then we all got to think that because that's what white people are supposed to feel. You know
Yeah,
what I
no,
mean?
exactly.
We have a lot of pressure.
But
like
we
that
have a
to
lot
kinda-
of pressure because
Yeah.
we should all think the same.
Yeah.
Or we should all like. But
It's because I think it's
we're the same as everyone else, bro.
Yeah, yeah, we're literally the
Got,
same.
like,
And there's
rich, poor, middle
You know what I
class,
mean? We're the
working
same
class.
as everyone else. Like we all have different points of views.
Yeah.
Everyone's minds is different. Like you
Yeah.
can't just because we're the same race, you can't just bind us. You know what I mean? Together.
Yeah.
The one thing I did hate was that BAME shit that they tried to start up for the last 2 years. British. Basically, basically, if you're black African and they mixed Asian into it, brown.
Mixed ethnic.
You know what? Let me stop talking. Let me find out.
I kind of remember that was after like the Black Lives Matter thing, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, new thing,
New
BAME,
thing,
let's
BAME.
get everyone else
Yeah,
into the party.
What's that like? Black, Asian.
Minority ethnics.
Right. Okay. So it's just like group
Black,
it all.
Asian,
like-
and minority
That's
ethnic.
like Albanians.
Exactly.
Anyone.
Anyone.
Like, anyone
We're the
that's a
same.
minority.
Like-
Yeah.
It's what happens with every black civil rights movement since the beginning of our time in the West. They always hijack it with every other system, with every other fight, whether it be like the women's rights,
yeah.
LBGTQ.
But it's to dampen down. It's to dampen
I
down
know.
the
I know.
essence of And I think that
of the struggle.
Yeah, exactly. And I can't come with facts on this, but I've seen it, I've read it, and if anyone does the research, but like there's a lot of documentation from early 1900s, I believe.
Mhm.
When was it when who was in charge? Is it J. Edgar Hoover?
Yep, FBI, the ruler
yeah.
of the FBI,
And there's
who
this,
was apparently mixed race, by the way.
What?
Right.
I don't know. Man.
Apparently,
I'm not gonna lie. This.
apparently,
I feel like
allegedly,
the
J.
black
Ed-
internet makes everyone mixed race.
Apparently, J. Edgar
Beethoven,
Hoover
Queen
was
Elizabeth.
a mixed race man.
right.
And he is
And
the
that's
person that realistically started the whole movement on.
Yeah. They're against Marcus Garvey and just everything and anything that could possibly be, add fuel to the black struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like you say, they just dampen it with anything they can dampen it with. Any new agenda, it's like kind of, and it takes away so much from the point. Yeah, but they've had hundreds of years of experience now on how to sidetrack a movement.
Yeah.
They normally kill the head, so whoever's the head of that movement, they're gone, and then they know that they've just got a lot of people scattered now. So then they're gonna group a couple of you guys, and they're gonna probably like I said, they're gonna give you a different something else to fight for.
I always say like the biggest fear for the CIA at the time and still now was black groups joining up with other socialist and communist groups. Because for me, that was always like what they were trying to prevent. They kind of get monetized by outside sources, whether it be Russia, different communist organizations. But that was always like their fear is going to bring down the capitalist society, and
Yep.
it all comes down to money in the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently it's a guy called McPhee that says that J. Edgar Hoover was his second cousin.
Okay.
I
he's
don't
an
know. It
African-American
sounds very internet facty. Like there's a guy in McPhee who
A guy called McPhee, yeah.
who says, "Hey, he was my
Found it.
second cousin." Can you Google his parents? Hoover's parents.
No, but apparently because Hoover's so black against, like even that, the guy said that he would have killed him. That he always didn't say it because Hoover would have killed him.
I have heard that though. I have heard what you said, that he had. I didn't know it was half black, but I have heard that he had black in him.
Yeah,
and that was kind of what kind of it was like.
Inspired him to hate black so much.
Yeah, it inspired him, and he hated himself.
If I'm correct, the reason Hoover put all his interest onto the Panther Party was because he was at first looking at the mob, and then they found him and took pictures of him in a homosexual club with a dude in the toilets. So he had to put all the efforts onto the Panthers.
And stopped going after the mob.
Yeah.
Right. So sorry.
when conspiracy
when
going
was
on.
his reign?
That's not even that's you can kind of check.
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
You can
yeah,
look-
yeah,
Every mafia kind of member will tell you the same thing.
What years have he? Do you know roughly what years were?
Hoover's years.
Yeah. Right. Well, when he was kind of in power, when he was prominent, doing up his badness.
That's a good question. What year was the CIA?
Wasn't it
formed?
nice?
Like 1960, I guess.
He was the Bureau of
it was in the
Investigation in 1919.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Hoover
The beginning.
became head of the Bureau of Investigation's new General Intelligence Division.
Yeah. What year did
At
he start the
24.
CIA?
Wow.
What year did the CIA form?
No, he didn't start the FBI. He started the FBI.
Was Hoover the FBI?
Yeah, he started the FBI.
Was
Hoover
he?
literally started the FBI.
Who's the CIA then?
CIA
What year did that
said-
start?
That was later, I believe.
I don't know about the CIA, but I just know about FBI. It was Hoover, and he did it in 1921. Rose to Bureau of Investigation. Yeah, so you're looking at around 1929, that kind of time, bro.
Right.
Why?
Oh, right. Sorry, I thought that was the T.
No, that's you asked the question.
No, because as you was talking, I kind of you mentioned the Black Panther Party movement, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, from what I recall, he was more towards the beginning of the 1900s.
Yeah.
So I don't know. His reign must have obviously,
Oh yeah, he did.
transpired
Oh yeah,
into-
his reign was a very long reign.
a long
I
reign,
can't
wasn't
lie.
it? Yeah, I know how.
can't
I know
lie
how.
because
I know it was very
He
notorious.
he died in. Yeah, he died at the age of 1972. He died in 1972.
Right. And he was one of those.
Age
One of those
77.
that he was still in power until he died.
Hell yeah.
Even if not officially.
Man was born in 1895 and died in 1972.
Wow.
So yeah,
Wow.
Harry Truman. That's who started the CIA.
Harry
Sorry.
Truman.
Truman.
Harry Truman.
Is that the black guy?
No.
I'm about to say Truman sounds very.
Yo, an organization committed to bringing down black people created by a black man. Nah. Okay, so Truman was a president at the time of the CIA. I still feel like it was. Yeah, okay, we probably need to check that out more before the episode
before the
starts.
episode starts, innit? Yeah, but you know.
I wanna address something very dear to my heart at the moment.
Oh, go on.
It's epidemic spreading through the streets of London. Which,
I know
I
this
don't know
one.
why you find that funny, man. It's really disturbing. I know a lot of parents are concerned about their kids getting involved in the peddling of this, and you know, a lot of people are just sick of being approached by people trying to sell them French bulldogs. Why is everyone shotting French bulldogs?
Oh my
These
God.
these little mutant dogs. You know how many are being bred around the country at this time?
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's crazy.
By the time this fad has gone away, there's gonna be like bare wild French
Yeah.
bulldogs just roaming the streets.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, technically not, because they don't live that long.
no, they don't, because
And
they're
if you don't,
mutants.
and if you
Oh,
don't
do they
look
not?
and if you don't look after them, like
They die even
they'll
earlier.
they die even earlier.
What's
They
their
have
life
breathing
expectancy?
problems. They have breathing problems, like
Ah,
because
'cause-
they're genetically made.
Yeah, they're not supposed to really
They're not supposed to
be
be,
breeds.
yeah.
Yeah.
So as cute as they are,
Yeah.
like if you don't, as much as all these people are buying them, if they're very expensive to look after.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they are very friendly dogs. I'm not a dog person, yeah.
Yeah.
I, hands down, I cannot stand dogs. But my girl has got a Frenchie, yeah.
right.
And since that was a pup, right,
Mm.
and I'm still the dog stays over there,
Yeah.
but the dog will stay over there.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it is a friendly, like
Obedient as well.
yeah, you know what I mean, like.
I've got issues with a couple of things there. First, you said cute. I don't
Oh,
see,
I don't even. Did I say that?
Yeah, you
Oh
said,
no,
that's not
strike
very
that for me,
cute.
please,
Like-
please, because
I
my
don't
girl
understand.
shows me pictures every day. Isn't this cute? No.
No, they're the most ugliest
But yeah.
mutant babe dogs in the world. They look like they know they're ugly. They just look so like
Yeah.
like they look depressed with life.
Yeah.
They can't move about with their little stumpy legs. Everything
Yep.
is hard for them.
Yep.
Stop making them. Stop making them.
Yep.
And it costs so much money,
It costs so much for
Cost
these
a
little
lot of
bro.
money, a couple grand or something. A pop.
bro.
Yeah,
There's
that's why-
some blue ones that are like 5. There's
Yeah,
some
they
different
go up.
color ones that go up.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know where it came from. I think there was like a little. I think there's a boost of like dog breeding, and I think people realized that wait a minute, can make a lot of money off dog breeding, and you know once it got to the niggas, you know, I think that people
It's
like,
what happens
20
with
bags off.
everything.
Yeah.
I feel like there's certain people, when they start talking about it, I know it's a wrap for that hustle. And it's like, it goes around everything. Every hustle kind of starts with a few people. I don't know what it is with, I don't know if it's just our community. But it's like monkey see, monkey do. One person does it, was like, raw, we can make money out of that, you know?
Yeah.
Raw. And everyone does it till it's dead. Dead. Now, you try selling a French Bulldog right now.
Oh,
The rates must have dropped down.
yeah, the rates
because-
must have dropped down. Yeah,
Everybody is breeding
saturated
them.
market.
yeah,
Simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. And the thing is, if you try and sell that last one or two of the good luck, because people want to select. People want a selection. So people, anyone with any kind of savvy would know. All right. They want their pick. If it's not the first pick, at least the second pick, because you want to get the strongest one. You don't want to get the runt of the.
Exactly.
See, now the problem with this as well, yeah, is in terms of the inhumane aspect is all those runts that are not getting picked, yeah, what's happening to those?
I don't know, because you don't want a little mutant Frenchie runt crawling around your
Yeah, I mean,
yard.
The one that couldn't get the food, the one that had to be, you
Yeah,
had to,
exactly.
yeah.
So-
People don't.
They don't have use. They can't hunt. They can't. They're not good at like. If a burglar comes, what is a Frenchie going to do? Like,
Yeah. But I mean, all these people are actually, they're not in it for the love of these dogs.
Exactly.
They're
no,
in it for the
exactly,
money.
Exactly.
So the fact that they're
exactly.
in it for the money, what's happening to these dogs
Dogs,
after
exactly.
no one's buying them?
I can't say there's
They're
going to be
now
like a lot
a
of wild
waste.
dogs running
Yeah.
around the streets because
And I think a lot of them probably end up with the RSPCA or, do you know what I mean?
they must be packed out with bare little
Yeah.
ugly Frenchies.
Because it's not nice.
Yeah.
Because realistically, okay, cool. They're good enough for you to make money on. Yeah, but they're not good enough for you to look after when they're not making you any money. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's kind of like I get when you're making money off different things, like you're hustling this, you're hustling that, but
Yeah.
these are animals. You see what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yeah.
These are, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We are animal.
Yeah.
Like as much as I'm not a dog person,
Yeah.
I'm a human being.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
That has
yeah.
feelings. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
yeah.
these are animals. You know what I'm saying? So you can't really be
How do you get rid? If you got a bit of
Yeah.
if you got a bit of rubbish weed, you just get rid of it for cheap. But if you got a dog, that's what do you do? Just get rid of the dog for cheap to a
So,
crap home? Do you
For
know
me,
what I mean?
that's one of the major problems. Like, yes, you're selling them, but what's
Yeah.
happening to all these other dogs that are not getting
I
sold?
mean, the
I'm
plus
not
side,
getting
like you say, they won't live long. So to be roaming around the streets confused. They don't like they've got any survival skills. They're not gonna find food in the wilderness. So,
But do you notice in this country we don't really have wild dogs though?
nah, we don't. Not yet.
No.
Like
No.
in
When I was
mate,
younger-
you go back home. You go. I've been to Jamaica. You go
Everywhere.
to Nigeria, mate.
Wow.
Even Greece, you off, mate.
Most-
All
yeah,
these
most
most
countries,
European countries,
you got
there's
wild
wild
dogs,
dogs everywhere.
Yeah.
But here we don't really have wild
I have
dogs.
them.
Our SPCA that good, yeah.
We used to have more strays though. Back in the day, I remember as a kid, there were strays.
Yeah.
There was
they
when
used to
I
be.
was maybe about 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
There were some strays.
I think we've all been in trouble for bringing home a stray.
Not
Like,
me,
yo,
bro.
no,
Not
no,
me,
no,
bro.
no, no.
Not me.
Oh, maybe just me. I tried to bring home a stray one time. Oh Lord, I nearly left with the dog. Like that was a blunder.
Not me, bro. Are you crazy? Bring home a stray. No.
You don't really see strays just on the street like that no more. I don't.
But
I really
also-
do.
For me, I don't know. I didn't really see that many black people with dogs before.
Yeah.
Now I see them
DMX.
in every home.
Yeah.
DMX.
Yeah.
Like-
It was the DMX. It was the DMX era.
It's crazy.
Because you look after DMX, everyone had a pit or staff.
Yeah, one of those like
Or pit
yeah.
/ staff.
Mm.
Like it was not like, oh, let's go get an Alsatian. No, it's all the same dog. Like, yeah, it was a fashion thing.
Mad.
Sure.
And now I just see it in everyone's homes. Like,
Yeah.
but obviously the older generation still are still against it in a small sense.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
the younger generation now, it's just literally
Yeah.
obviously the kids come in and they're like, oh, we want pets. Like when I was growing up, I never asked that. I never once asked that
Did
question.
you have any pet?
Zero. What for?
A goldfish?
What for?
No goldfish.
Zero pets in my
Right,
house.
Right, nice.
And I had 3 brothers. I had 2 brothers. Zero pets in our house.
No
Wow,
pets.
I'm not even like a little
Nah, bro.
gopher or nothing.
No.
You didn't have a goldfish. That's like the bottom of the barrel. Like this. You had no chance of getting anything. Oh, shit.
Did you have any pets?
No, never had a pet growing up.
You didn't have a goldfish.
No,
What kind of lad did you?
nothing at all. No.
What kind of lad did you man have?
Oh, so you had a goldfish then? I take it.
Goldfish.
I know it's like but who had a goldfish? Like who?
What, you never went to a fun fair at least run like
No,
won
bro.
a goldfish and bought a bowl to put it in. It wasn't an expensive pet. Like it was.
Nah,
You just
like-
need the little flakes and that's it. Like did you go to fun fairs? Like
Yeah.
So did you have many goldfish?
brought
or
home
did you
cotton
have one?
candy.
How long did that one goldfish last for? That's the
You
question.
replace the gold. They would die, then you get a new goldfish. It's like
How often? Like we talking weekly? We talking monthly?
I can't remember that kind of deal, James Delaney. Like I don't know these kind of deals, Delaney. Like all I know is through a period of my childhood,
Yeah.
goldfish would be like a quite regular occurrence. I remember we had like a little blackfish at one time. We went real exotic with it. We got like a little small blackfish that had like long fins and shit.
So is that the only pets you had? Fish?
Not I had a cat like when I got, say when I was about 11. There was like mice in the house next door, so we had to get a cat.
That's
to, like,
exactly
Yeah, that's a black reason
Yep,
to get
yep,
get a cat.
And
I
you know
did
the cat
that
gets
same
no
thing.
love in the family. The cat is we've got a real funny relationship with animals and pets.
Listen.
Like they are outside.
That's why
It's-
people. That's
it's
why they
getting-
like cats because cats aren't really like they don't need you.
yeah,
Any-
don't need that affection.
Yeah.
like,
Any black people cat is eating rice and peas. It's eating jollof rice. It's eating. Listen, it's
Leftovers.
eating whatever it gets. Crackers. Listen, man. I grew up with a my grandma had a cat, and yeah, man, that cat got whatever, anything that was on the menu. That cat and it ate it because it knows that's all you're getting. And I think that's what it is, kind of thing. We like back home. I think that the animals, the cats, maybe not so much cats, but especially the dogs, they kind of live outside and stuff. So
Yeah,
you don't
they
really
are
have
animals.
you don't have
Yard
a
animals.
Yeah, like the dog would be like more. The community is just it runs around. Everyone maybe dashes it a bit of food or something. Whatever.
In
it gets.
Nigeria, the dog lived outside.
Yeah,
Literally,
It
you
was
don't
a-
li-
it
they
was
don't
a
live inside the house.
garden.
No, they
They don't live.
outside.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
It's only because of hair, because the weather's not so and you know what I mean. Like people kind of, they start.
I wonder what white people think when they go to the Caribbean and Africa and they see like the dogs chilling up outside. They must break their hearts. Like, oh my god, why don't we actually release the dogs at sometimes? Like,
a vigilante.
Can we take it in the house?
yeah, like.
No.
Yeah, and the thing is, like by nature, dogs did not like they're not supposed to be in a house. Like they're not, they're not born in houses. They weren't, you know what I mean? houses are human things. It's not like they're losing something by not being in the house.
True.
I'm like, oh no, I'm not in the house. It's like, no, there was genetics
they,
were made.
they can't build houses.
No, exactly.
They can't- it's not.
Yeah.
It's not a part of their
Exactly.
society.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. Literally.
Oh,
I find
shit.
people that like are really like lovey-dovey with their cats fucking weird. Like cats don't even.
Because cats don't like
Yeah,
you.
they don't like you.
They
don't
don't
want-
really like you.
Yeah.
like
Whoever
that.
whoever feeds that cat is going to.
Yeah.
It does not like you. It has no love for you. You're there petting it, telling it, oh look, it loves me. No.
Most disloyal animal.
Like-
Easiest animal to steal.
Yeah.
Easiest animal to steal. Give it a nice meal. And that's
Like
it,
a
it's
dog
gone.
is loyal. Yeah, apparently a
Mm.
dog is loyal. Like a
I
dog.
don't even think dogs are that loyal. I feel like again, if you're feeding that dog, like if I took a dog for you today and I fed it for the next week, next time you see that dog, it's gonna be like, you don't know who to run to. Like, unless you got
Oh,
a dog,
serious?
Yeah, unless you got a dog for like a really long time.
Yeah, if you've had a dog from birth.
Yeah, or maybe it's different for white people because they're very like they mouth kiss their dogs and everything. But my dog, I really feel like I had a kind of love.
The dog was ready to pack up and go.
I had a fight one time and my dog bit me. I swear to God, like it bit the other guy as well, but it bit me. Like it was just biting things.
Maybe that's down to your treatment of your dog.
That's possibly, like
Yeah,
I say,
really.
maybe white people have a different experience with it. I don't know.
Oh, man.
Oh,
What
God.
dog did you have?
Can't be Yayo, man. My dog was called Yayo. It's like half pit, half staff.
Serious? Okay, I didn't.
When was
I didn't
this?
know you had a dog.
Well, it's
DMX
just-
days, yeah.
Something like that. You know, like when DMX died, my brethren rang me. I ain't heard from him for years. Like, oh man, are you alright? He didn't remember my granddad. He rang me when DMX died.
Jeez.
Yeah. So obviously in his mind, he was like, I used to see this guy with his dog all the time, and
And you were just DMX.
yeah, put them
Yeah.
together. Yeah, like
Yeah.
oh,
Okay.
he's-
Were you a heavy DMX fan?
I wouldn't have thought so.
You're the same as everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it wasn't like I was.
But just because you're
Like-
black, you decide to get a dog and.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't.
But you
know.
kind of have that DMX spirit though.
That's kind
You know what I
of-
mean?
that's
Like
kind
even
of
your
where
whole
he-
aura
he
is
was
kind
The
of.
demeanor.
kind of
Yeah,
where
your
he was-
demeanor is like, yeah.
That's kind of I think where he was going with it, but no, I just had a dog.
Oh.
It was like, that was it.
So growing up, have you had any pets? Now
Mm.
as an adult.
No. The closest thing I ever had to a pet was, as I said, it was my grandma's. Okay, there was two actually. Both of my grandmas. So my Guyanese grandma, used to have a bird. I'll never forget Tweety. Tweety, yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
And growing up, it was there for years.
But
It
are
was there for
birds
years.
pets though?
It's not really a pet. It
Because
was. It
if
was
you
strange.
open
It
that
was in a
cage, that bird is just
Go
going
on.
to fly
Yeah, it would just fly
away.
out. Fly out. It was in a little cage.
It ain't
just
coming
used to-
back. Like so.
Is that not really fucked up? Imagine being a bird. You're all thinking
In a
to
little cage.
fly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
You're
you
in a
just
cage
trapped me in a
forever.
cage.
Yeah,
Like because you decided you want me.
yeah.
You're like,
yeah, it's
like
fucked up,
fuck
yeah.
off.
Yep. And
So, yeah.
and my other grandma, my Jamaican grandma, had a cat, a black cat, Wiz.
Okay.
Yeah, and Wiz was just vicious. And one of my earliest memories, I think of Wiz anyway, I was about 7 or 8. And you know, like cats, you used to go and stroke them and stuff. So I'm secluded now. I'm in a room, just me and the cat. All right. And I was thinking I'm gonna go and stroke the cat. Cat just, and I'll never forget. And I was so scared of cats for about 5-6 years after that, because I just thought they were gonna attack me.
Yeah.
And that cat was vicious.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's why I think
it
of
didn't
cats
like anyone.
constantly. I just think cats constantly just going to attack you.
Yeah.
You shouldn't go near them.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
No,
Like I literally, I can't stand
But
them.
that's a Nigerian thing. That's an African thing,
Can't stand
and
it.
it's a Nigerian thing.
Can't
It's
stand
a yeah. You don't. I've got so many friends. Yeah, bring them around the cat.
Yeah, no.
It's just that they're walking. Nah, they don't play with the cat thing.
Yeah, I
Don't
remember,
play
like,
with
it's
it.
real, like it's real. It's so 50-50 with all black people. Like any animal, we just don't know how.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
like.
so. That's my main thing with animals. Yeah, and I don't understand why people like pets and
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
yeah.
because I'm very much. I can understand you because I understand what you're saying to me, and I can and I can read your body language. Yeah, but with a cat, you can't speak to me. You can't say nothing to me. Like I'm talking to air. Like I might be saying, "Oh, are you nice?" and blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
yeah,
But
yeah.
you're in your mind, you're like, "Fuck you! I want to kill you." Like so.
Well,
For
where's
me,
the food?
that disconnection is like it's scary for me. Like I can't take it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So yeah.
I would ask why you're trying to talk to the cat in the first place, but
But people talk to their cats. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, they do. They really do. Like dogs, I feel like you get more out of them in terms of You can see it. You can see.
Oh
the
no,
emotion.
yeah, you
yeah,
see
you
that.
see it,
Like
yeah,
my
yeah.
girl's dog, they have
Yeah.
complete conversations, and the dog relates.
Mm.
And after they have a conversation, she'll say high five. She won't even put out her hand. She'll say high five. Dog will give her a high five. Like
Wow.
that is a conversation. I'm
Wow.
sorry.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean?
I
That's
feel
deep.
like all animals apart from reptiles, really, you can kind of see emotion in them. Apart from cats.
Apart from cats.
Cats are just ignorant. They're just an
Yeah.
ignorant animal. They don't have like that emotional palate. It's just like hungry,
beat by snakes or pets.
angry.
It's weird though because it's
Reptiles.
kind of like an analogy for life, isn't it? Because like the cat, it's emotionally independent, so it kind of like it lives with you, and you both have this agreement that it's like, okay, I'm gonna do my thing, you're gonna do yours. The cat, you literally feed it, and it doesn't need anything else from you. The dog needs conversations, it needs walks, it needs reassurance, it needs. So it's like with the cat, it's kind of like the reassurance that listen, you're gonna fuck me, you're gonna take my food. And you're literally, we have no. If you see me in pain, relying on you're not gonna try and help. You're just gonna carry on.
Yeah.
And it's like an analogy for life because it's like life will fuck you. Do you know what I mean? You pay your certain taxes and you do certain, and it's like there's that understanding that you're gonna do all of this stuff.
I think that's true, because you really think about it. The people, like cats, they don't like you, but the people that
Yeah.
really force a relationship with the cats, it's probably the same kind of people that like are in a relationship and their girl don't even know they're in a relationship with them. Like, you said hello to this guy 3 times and then it's mine now we're together. Like they're probably that
Yeah.
kind of person, you know what I mean? So
yeah. So yeah, I just feel like it's it's just something that it's a weird one. It's a weird one, but there's possibly something. I believe there's possibly something reassuring about knowing that even though this animal has no emotional connection to you, you look after it, and you both have an understanding. We're both living in this place. We might not like each other, but we're both here, and it's a very very weird dynamic.
Until
But
you open that door and it never comes back.
exactly.
So 90s and 2000 intelligence. What is kind of like the mindset? Like we've got young, we've got old here. I want to know like
This guy's a dickhead, you know. This guy's a...
Oh my god.
T's one of the 90s mentality, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're new school. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
I would
Yeah.
put you in between the two.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fresh, man. I'm
you're
young
like,
brain.
You're like a year younger than me.
Yeah.
But I would still put you very much like that Drake. You're like, I'll call you Drake era. You're like, you are this is that Drake era sentimentality.
I'm just in between. Like we were, I'd say, because obviously you're 80, yeah, and I'm 81, yeah. So that 81 era onwards, we kind of joined the.
You're being kind with the 80 thing, but yeah. Anyway.
I know.
You know, it's a real. Man, trying to flame on my own podcast. Listen, for starters, I don't feel like from 80 to 81 there was that much.
No, but
there
there is, bro. We remember we spoke about it the other day.
We did.
Like
we did.
the guys
That's
in
fucking
your
true,
year
yeah,
compared to the guys in my year,
Yeah.
there was a difference.
true.
Right.
A strange difference. I
So
don't know what it was.
What happened? There was something. Sorry, there was some kind of musical artist.
Yeah,
or there was
that's
some
what
kind
I'm
of
saying.
event or something
That's
happened
what I'm
when
saying.
you guys were young that has caused that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was exactly.
To break it down, my year, we were into like, say, your Mob Deeps, your Wu-Tang, anything got like kind of dirty, grimy, kind of, in a certain mentality, the kind of, and even was saying we still look for it in our artists. When we look at young artists now, unless you still got that kind of like, that street element to you, 90s man are like, like, even if like these men are now working and been out of the street life for the last 40 years, like, it's still like, I don't like that. It's too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I feel like his era was a little bit more fluffy.
A bit more Drake.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
basically,
yeah.
What?
you're into Mob Deep, and
Yeah,
Wu-Tang
like,
is into Drake.
Because of Crisscross and MC Hammer.
So Puffy was like, how can I put it? Like, I think the Flossy era was what changed it. So there was like what we were used to, and then it was like this era came up and said, we don't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop. And then you didn't like that shit.
Yeah.
You were a player hater. Like,
yeah.
suddenly you're a player hater.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and yeah, they just kind of ran with that. And
Yeah.
yeah, you got like two separate cultures. You had like the player haters, and I'm not even gonna call the players the fluffy niggas.
But it's funny because I think that still carries on to my generation. you get me? You got certain people that don't listen to Drake, and then people I hardly. I haven't got a Drake album on my phone. Do you know what I mean? But there's certain tunes that I like because it's just catchy and I like it. And I don't really, like a lot of the stigmas. I think back in your day there was a lot more stigma as to who you listened to or what. It kind of defined who you was. Oh, what you listen to? Oh, you're soft. Whereas now you have the baddest man and he might be listening to Drake or to, you know what I mean, listening to some kind of love song or whatever. So
there was a lot more rules when I was growing up. So when Cameron started wearing pink, that was like, no one wore pink before that.
Yeah.
Suddenly, like a lot of men, I could tell they just waiting to wear pink. They just couldn't wait. And suddenly, everyone had their salmon shirts. Like it was, so like there was like a lot more rules. No one, you don't yam pum pum. Everyone, a lot of people did.
Yeah.
But it would never be confessed apart from some of your cousins.
Took it to you, yeah.
You come from a bloodline of pum pum eating originators. It was like completely different. You wanted to continue that?
I didn't want to continue. I'm just gonna leave that. leave you with that.
Nah, but it was like it was definitely like a lot more stigmas. What they call toxic masculinity was basically the culture that raised
you.
Thank you.
But then in terms of maintaining or maintaining masculinity, did that kind of help things? Because now looking at my generation, it's kind of like it's okay. We know that there's a million different types of guy now, yeah. But it's kind of like it's almost negative to be a real strong alpha male.
Yeah,
and it's like growing up.
That's your generation have done that.
Okay, yeah. You're probably looking at me like it was you. It was you. You're behind it. No, listen. I don't like it. I don't like. I will tell you right now, and I do not like it at all.
Wait.
Yeah.
But there's two right. So there's two
sides
ways,
to the
two sides to looking at
Sure.
it. Yeah. Cool. You don't like the fact that he might not portray a real man being the old generation of how it looks to be a real man. Yeah. But you might be a better man by the way you treat a woman.
Oh, but why is the first thing you allude to the way you treat a woman?
No, because realistically, we have come from a what's the word? What's the big word I'm looking for? Is it we have come from a male-dominated world. Yeah. And a male-dominated world consistently, right? And in terms of being a male-dominated world, it stretches into everything. It stretches into little behaviors, little things that we think is right.
We overlook,
that we overlook that isn't right, And I have come from a generation, for example, that mans are in a club and they're pinching girls' bums, and it's fine because they think it's fine, Now we know it's not fine, So it's the mentality then. It wasn't right. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it takes now a whole new generation to say, oh, you guys were doing things wrong and blah blah blah, for us to then realize that it wasn't right doing that then when it wasn't right in the first place. You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
So you might look at it like, oh, this man isn't being a real man, but is that real man look actually a good thing?
Yeah.
That's the question.
See, I feel like what we 90s man we really tried to fight against when the fluffies were trying to take the cultural stage was this kind of demasculation of men. Now, I agree with you in the sense of some things which are like, I don't think there's anything masculine about like degrading women. I don't feel like I need to pinch 1,000 women's bums in clubs. Which I'm looking at this guy, the fucking things he's saying, I'm thinking. But I know your missus, so, and I want more cakes, so it's very civilized. But like even how you defined like for the terms of parameters of masculinity, like is in just parameters of how you treat your girl. Like I think that's more kind of your journey as in your relationship than actual like aspects of masculinity. Because for me, obviously masculinity's got to be like I don't know. There's a spirit. There's an energy which is masculine energy.
Yeah, that is dying. Yes, I
Yeah.
get that, especially with.
Women might say they want this old new school man or whatever, but when someone break into the house and the new school man is behind him calling the police, like she ain't gonna lie, she might say all the right things. She's looking like this nigga's not man.
Yeah.
Like, and there's so much instances. Like, a dude comes up to you like pinches your girl's bum. Now you can be like, "Oh, that is not right. We're in a new mentality. You cannot do that. You
cannot,
sir." But realize your girl
Your
really
girl
wants
really
you to
wants
go
you
and
to
put
go
it on
and
him.
stop
Yeah.
that.
So there's like, I don't know. I feel like it's a kind of agenda being pushed, and I'm not sure even women want this.
Wanted, yeah.
This new man.
I think it's interesting. I think you raised a really interesting point about how things are changing and the better man. Yeah, and I actually think that's a good point. I think sometimes
Better man.
Yeah,
Not-
because
not-
you're
not-
referring
yeah,
to
not the lesser man.
yeah, not the lesser
better
man, the better
Yeah.
man, and perhaps
So
perhaps
still being the man that you are, but being a better version of you.
What is the better man, bro? That is just a term.
Well,
you need to fill the term with actual perimeters of what is
so
better.
I think that the point that you kind of alluded to when you was making that point was the example of the pinching the bum in the club, which is possibly not the best example because there's so many aspects, and that's like I think that that's a fairly clear cut.
That was
kind of-
was
yeah.
simple example.
Yeah,
of
I think
exactly
that's
just
quite
to
simple.
put
Like,
it in your
should you
face.
do that? No, you
Yeah,
shouldn't. kind of
Exactly.
thing.
Yeah.
But I think that it is, and this is why it's
But
a
you
conversation.
say that, yeah. But when people were doing that back then, their mentality wasn't that
Yeah.
they shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
The mentality was that it's fine, and the girls
Yeah.
want that. That's
Yeah.
how they draw girls.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if you look at it as well, you can look at it the other way. That some girls did like that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't. You know what I mean? But you can look at that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's how they drew girls. So then their mentality was, oh, it's fine.
And now, what's happening now is that whole that. So what you're in reference to what you're saying now. So now we've kind of again come full circle on that. So now it's not about pinching the bum anymore. Now it's like a girl could be walking past and you could tap her, yo, miss. Oh, why is this guy tapping?
Yeah,
why
you
is it,
can't-
oh,
yeah.
I can't.
You're
I'm in the
invading
club.
her
Why?
space.
Why
But-
are you?
but
so,
it's true, you're invading her
no,
space.
No. If you're,
Why are you
no,
why
no.
are you tapping her?
This is where I'll be unapologetic in my view.
That
Yeah?
is such.
That's
you know,
nonsense.
like,
Nonsense.
Yeah, God, I'm not gonna say
So
that.
No,
it's
no,
nonsense.
I get it.
And this is the thing, right? Because if you touch a girl inappropriately, you've touched her inappropriately. There is no 50-50. There is no grey area.
Yes.
But if you touch a girl like to get her attention, kind of thing, tap her
Right,
or whatever,
okay.
that's fine. You're in a social environment.
Yep.
If someone doesn't want to be social, stay at home. Like, and that goes for guys and that goes for girls.
Yeah.
You're in a social environment, so we're still people, and the way that it was intended is that we're going to interact.
Man
So,
and woman. Yeah.
and this is what I'm saying about pushing an agenda too far, and all of these agendas, everything in society, it gets pushed too far until it's stupid. And now some of the conversations that we're having, some of the things that will come out, I should have probably pre-prepared some content. Some of the things that will come out now is it's like some of this. You actually look at it and you're kind of laughing like, is this serious? But it's deadly serious. Like, and this is what I'm saying. And also my second point, in respect to alpha male and the changing role of males. I mean, ultimately, if you look at family life, it's been affected so much. I haven't got any statistics. I'm a student of life, so I'm not. This is not my. It's not my field that I study every day. But I'm a student of life. I see this daily, hear things all the time, and I read certain articles and whatnot. And it's kind of like, the man in the household now has been diminished so much, and that's the reason why a lot of man and woman aren't getting married, or the relationships aren't lasting as long, or the and yeah, there are often corrupt things within those relationships going, looking back at 50 years or whatever, there were a lot of corrupt relationships that maybe just stayed on longer than they should have. At the same time, having a whole generation of kids, and I'm not saying no one's got a mum and dad, that's just wrong, all right?
But I do think on the flip side,
Yeah.
this generation for men are more fatherly than the previous generation.
Oof.
They're more.
What's more
So
fatherly?
okay, as in, for me, especially in terms of young black men,
Yeah.
I feel that they're more around for their children these days than before.
I would agree with that. I would agree. My father's generation, it was not even a thing to be at home with your kids.
Yeah.
It was more a thing to spread your seed.
Yes.
So you was almost like, yo, what you mean you have one child? Like, no, you got to spread your seed and be with that baby mother there and sit with that one there. And that was kind of the culture. Whereas, nah, if you don't look after your kids, you're a bum.
You're a bum. Yeah.
You're a bum. Like,
Yeah.
straight up.
I mean, I'm probably wrong with this, yeah? I might just be wrong. But what I'm
No, but it's good
inclined
to hear.
believe-
No, because we're coming from an older gen. So this is the whole point of this
No,
question.
I think you guys
So,
might be right. I haven't put a lot...
mentality-wise,
Yeah.
you're coming from a younger mentality than
Right,
us. So
right.
it's good to hear your point of view. See what I'm saying? So you're not wrong in any point of view that you're saying.
Well, you can be wrong.
Like,
Man can never be wrong in his opinions.
You can both be wrong. You know, you
Can never be wrong in your opinions. It's your opinion.
You can be wrong. You can have an opinion that's wrong, and you can
Yeah, of course,
you can hold
but
it,
you
but
can-
it's
you
still
can-
wrong.
yeah, but
I
it's-
might feel like I'm the strongest guy on the planet, but
It's
I
wrong,
could-
but it's your
yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, it's an
Yeah,
opinion.
it's a stupid opinion. It'll get me killed, but like it's my opinion. I can hold on to it.
God.
I mean, what was... I just had a point just went out my head.
Oh,
I mean,
sorry.
no, it's fine.
We'll talk about young fathers.
Yeah, I mean, all right. I definitely agree that there's this whole thing of you're a waste man, you don't look after your kid. That definitely has been born in the last how many years, and it's grown. Do you get me? And I think that is definitely more prominent than it was before. At the same time, I'm inclined to believe that the older generation, yeah. So I'm going to maybe my grandfather's generation. There were a lot of strong men, leaders. They led in a different way. You know, they wouldn't come here and, you know what I mean? It was very different, but they led. And
Yeah,
they-
there was a So yeah, there was a family man.
Yeah.
Then
You're
all
right.
of a sudden there was a connection somewhere.
Yeah.
And then it
yeah.
came back.
Yeah,
Kind of
so,
thing.
So yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So I mean, I'm like trying to be careful to personalize this because everybody's experience is different. It's more about a general story. But if I am gonna I had my grandfather, he done everything for my. So they brought us over into the UK and looked after all the kids and looked after the whole family and everyone. Come on, you know what I mean? But he wasn't necessary. He wasn't maybe gonna run over and come and give you a big hug but he led by
Yeah.
example.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's so true, man. That's
And like
so true.
I kind of look at my dad kind of thing. He didn't have a clue. He didn't know what he was doing. But his granddad, he had a proper dad. Do you get me? But he didn't know how to be a father. So it's like, and that's a personal story. But it's like I feel like that happens quite often. So there might be the whole thing of waste man dad and whatever now. But I still think that there's so many. I mean, I know so many fathers that are just absent at my age. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Or they're there, but they're only there because they don't want to get called a waste man father. So they're there for like the one-off cinema trip or for the
Social media picture.
social media picture. I sent my
that's-
baby mum
that's another
150 the other day. You probably did. But when was the last time you sent the money before that? Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like now for the image. So now you kind of meet the criteria just about. Whereas back then we didn't have a criteria. It was like we're doing this because this is how it's supposed to be. Do you know what I mean? So I just think that there's
like basically, I think you made a good point of there was a generational shift where our grandparents' generation, and I think it's true for a lot of us in the West Indian communities, they were all came with a couple. There was always a family situation. We had like granddad, granny, a few kids. You know what I mean? But it's always like a strong household. A lot of time, the granddad would be the quiet one. He ain't gonna say the most. The grand would usually be the one with the most talk, but he would be the quiet one. But he led. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, just by example. And then I don't know if it's a thing of coming to Western culture, but definitely with our father's generation, like it was a different mentality. So I'm not sure if that came from. Basically, when you bring people to another country and you take away the man's ability to be the provider in that household, you take away the masculinity or part of the masculinity of that man, and you create a whole different paradigm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, a lot of people do believe that's what kind of made that situation.
I mean, I think not trying to go
'Cause-
too deep, but it's like this thing's in like. This thing's in various different types of scripture. Like the man is supposed to be the head of the house. Now that doesn't mean that the woman. Listen, they're equal. I always say it, you can be you can be equal but not even. You know, the man and the woman are not even at all, but
No.
they're equal. They're equal in that household, and I think that
It's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, and I think that the man of the house. If you take away the man's role as a man, then there's no need for the man anymore.
I think that is a problem. I think we both got like skill sets. We both got strengths.
Yes.
But what's happened is you're taking away all of the traits of masculinity, and we're not taking away the traits of femininity. It's like, okay, we're all going to the woman can do that, and do that,
and do that, and do that, and do that,
and
and
then
do
the
that.
man's like, it's got like this little. What do I do? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's the danger of it.
It's like I had a conversation. My girl was like, "Oh, we're moving," and she was like, "You know, you're going to be taking out the bins." Yeah, for example.
Yeah.
Like that's a man in her mind. That's a man's
that's a
job.
man's thing,
You
yeah.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
man's job.
Yeah.
So it's like they, even coming from a woman, it's like she knows certain things are what a man's meant to do. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you take that away, and now no, the women's gonna do
Yeah,
the bins.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
okay. You do the bins. Okay, you do the you take
Yeah.
the car, you fix the car.
Yeah.
What are we here for?
So and to maybe build
And that's
on,
why there's so much male suicide.
okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you
interesting.
bring that out,
Yeah,
there's so
true.
much
Never
more
thought about that.
male suicide.
What for taking out the bins?
Yeah.
But yeah, well,
Yeah.
you had a point. Sorry.
And to build on that point, I think that we all have conceptions growing up as a child as to the relationship we want to be in, as to what a man is, as to what a woman is. I'm talking about females here and guys. And we all have that conception. So when we grow older now and things fall out of that, like straight away, like for example, with your partner, her it's like, listen, the guy takes out the rubbish. If you was to start saying like, I ain't taking out no rubbish, that could be a huge thing to her. Do you know what I mean? And you wouldn't maybe necessarily be able to take in how big that would be to her if you, as the man, her partner, her life partner, is saying, you know what, like I ain't doing that. And do you know what I mean? So it's that kind of like it's what you kind of grow up with as your conception.
Exactly.
And you kind of grow to that.
Most women's what they expect from their man is based on their relationship with their fathers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's so often the case. So if your girl's been in a house where her dad's been there and he's been doing all these things, you could be damn sure you're expected to do all these things.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
And I think that's my point. I slipped my point. Go on, guys, carry on. Because I literally, my point literally is just then. It's
No, but like, okay, cool. Let me bring one topic that's so not even a topic, but it's same relates. A man, yeah, was ranked 416th, yeah,
I know what you're about to say.
in
Some tennis
in thing, and now he becomes the #1 female swimmer.
swimmer. That's it. Yeah, I saw this. the other day.
It's swimming, innit? Because
Yeah.
even when I weren't sure what field it was.
Yeah, swimmer.
man,
He
yeah, I
becomes
read
a man.
this the other day.
So it's like,
Again, it's like this whole thing where
how is that fair?
it's not, but you can't say it's not fair because it's like this whole political correctness thing.
Yes.
Which I
No,
think.
I think yeah.
It's
But
like you don't even want to talk
what's
about
good?
it because you're like,
Yeah,
oh,
'cause
you don't want to
get-
get cancelled.
You don't want to get cancelled. But you know the good thing is, and this is like I'm not on social media and stuff as T would know. I'm not. On
Yeah,
social
I've never seen you
Yeah.
look at any of my posts.
Good thing about it.
I've never seen no Jelani come up looking at any of my stories. Like, nah.
But you know the good thing sometimes about operating, because people are like, why don't you? Why don't you? It's like, listen, I'm Mr. Unpopular Opinion. Do you know what I mean? I don't necessarily like being in platforms whereby if I'm not selling something, or like I understand why you'd be on. If I'm not actually selling anything on this platform, there's nothing that I'm trying to promote. Do you know what I mean? I do. Yeah. So it's like if I'm just there kind of thing, just to listen to people's opinion and spread my opinion and look at photos and stuff. I've got my own very unpopular opinions on certain things, and I'm not apologetic with it at all. And I find it hard. It's very hard to cancel someone who, first of all, I mean, yeah, you can discredit them. So you can discredit that person. So if I come out and say this now, forget about him anyway. He said that before, so forget about him. But it's hard to cancel someone when you can't cancel their money, can't cancel their income. And it's like kind of like
Tory Lanez proves that.
True, exactly. Because he kind of just fought through it, and I think there's been a lot of people that have fought through it.
Do we know where that stands? I saw it to like, but did he?
Right now, it's like Meg getting cancelled.
Right now,
it's
like
all
Meg.
on Meg.
Yeah,
Everything's on Meg
I heard
right
the
now.
other day that this person unfollowed Meg, this person unfollowed Meg,
Yeah.
but no
Listen,
one's saying
Drake.
why.
So it's like
yeah,
kinda-
Drake. Yeah,
Drake and someone else and like unfollowed another. Was it Rihanna or something? It was
yeah.
two big
Drake
people.
and Rihanna unfollowed Meg.
Unfollowed Meg.
Why?
Yeah.
Even that as a 90s man, even that whole sentence just hurts.
It's
my
just-
feelings. Drake unfollowed her. Oh no, that's sensational news. Like, oh, yeah,
Breaking
are we?
news.
But no, that's kind of like that's telling. So he didn't shoot her then? Is
Boy.
that basically what?
But we don't know.
conclude
Apparently,
it.
there's a cold case going on, but
Yeah,
I don't know. But Tory was not cancelled.
No.
You know what I mean? So he just carried on doing his thing.
And with the in regards to to the athlete that came first. And
Yes.
I don't think it's about. Listen, look, we all come from a generation where we're not used to seeing certain things, so we're not used to all of that. Yeah, and I think that's fair enough. But things change, times change. The problem is that when something's clearly unfair, you're talking about this is no longer about. Oh,
We're talking men and women.
Yeah, we're talking
men
about
are genetically stronger. Than women.
This is
so you can't just because I identify as a woman.
Yeah.
I'm still genetically a man.
Yeah,
I'm still genetically stronger
Well,
than my
This
counterpart.
is where the false polarity comes into it, because if you're going to on one hand say to this person, no, we completely accept you as a woman now, we're not going to dead name you. I learned that term, obviously, G2 community, dead name you. We're going to treat you as a woman. Then you can't say, oh, well, actually, you're actually still a man, so you can't compete in this. So you're going to like allow some bullshit, you got to allow all the bullshit.
Yeah. Listen,
I guess so.
like it's sports and stuff,
It's
and I
hard
just
to
think
draw
that
the
has-
It's very
there
hard
has
to draw the line.
I don't think sounds bad. I don't think it's that hard. I think when it comes to physical things, I think
Yeah,
listen, you got
that's
man and
it.
woman.
Yeah.
If you did you used to be a man at any time? No. Then you're not gonna compete in what women do. Like, you weren't born a woman, so you can't physically now compete. It's not fair.
What about a woman who wants to compete as a man?
Now again, I would say
It's
the
not
same
fair
thing.
for her.
You can't. It's not fair. It's not fair for her now. She'll say,
But
oh,
then
equal
saying
rights.
that,
But
that's her choice.
but wait,
She chooses to
saying
come
that,
last.
Serena Williams has batted up most of the top ranked men in
No,
tennis.
No, that's not.
Some.
That's
not
not true.
No,
That's
she
not-
has.
When?
No, she has.
Yeah,
No, she has.
Wait,
No, she has.
Wait, didn't you
As
see
in-
I'm sorry, yeah. Didn't you see that thing about 5-10 years ago? Oh, gee, what's the famous
Oh, no, you're talking about the female Martina, the lesbian one.
No.
Oh, wow.
Sorry. I was talking
Martina
about
Navratilova,
John
that's it.
McEnroe.
Yeah.
No, is it John McEnroe? No, John
He played
McEnroe.
Martina in the Davis line.
That's
he played
it.
against. Yeah.
And he came out and made a comment. About it's actually he got slandered for it. But you know what?
Billie
fair
Jean.
fair play to him. He didn't back down from his comments once. And you know what? Society had to kind of agree with him. He was like, listen, if number one female, you're probably searching it right now. He said if the number one female tennis player played like ranked number 400 or 500, they would get smashed and they wouldn't even win one game. And then he said it, and everyone was like, "Oh my god!" But you know what? Serena, all these people came out, and they were like, "He's not wrong, actually," but it's just like it's not helpful towards the women's cause.
2 or 3 things. First, I think maybe Billie Jean King was the woman, and she fought. She
Okay.
played against like two. She played against a man. I remember it being a big deal like way back in the day. Oh God, I'm caught with the first point. What was the first point we was talking about?
Essentially,
Males stronger than women.
Yeah, the number one male athlete. Sorry,
No,
number one.
brain
female-
freeze completely gone.
Okay. Yeah, I had that a minute ago. Actually, and it came back after when everyone was talking. It was too late. You know it happens.
The maddest thing, is like it's been a good show. The show's been going on, but our time's up.
Well, the time is not up, bro. You keep saying it. The time's up when the electricity cuts.
The time's up. That's what I'm saying. The electricity is cutting in exactly 4 minutes.
Oh, that's 4 minutes. Yeah. Listen.
But you know, I like to
Guys,
give you.
I'm not gonna
I
lie,
like to give you
that's
a
crazy.
little. You know what I mean? Let you know. But it's been a great show.
Yeah, 100%.
James, I've loved your opinions.
Thank you
But
very much. Thank
Carry
you
on
very
what
much.
you're saying.
We appreciate you, Jelani.
Yeah, oh shit.
Yeah, he's like,
Jelani.
Jelani. But you know what? Long story short, yeah. When it comes to that, it's just not fair. So I just don't feel like it's like excluding them either. I think that you've got to understand that we're stepping into a new society. Like I said, your generation, previous generations, even my generation aren't used to a lot of the things that we're seeing now. But we're stepping into a new society, and you've got to move with the times. And I think that's fine and that's fair enough. It's not about singling a people out, but it's just about keeping fair and keeping some kind of order in the world. I think that it's important.
All right. So, like I say, where do you draw the lines? Because if, like I say, it's not an issue for a man to turn to a woman and compete because he's not advantaging himself. But if you now say to a woman she can't turn to a man to compete, it's now a case of like infringing her civil liberties, her civil rights. So legally, you're just gonna be in the courts every other week.
time.
Yeah, it's just.
I don't think
It's a
it's an
slippery
infringement.
slope.
I don't think it's an infringement.
You might not
maybe
think, but legally,
But
But
it's-
legally,
but
because
it's-
you're saying a man
yeah,
changed to a woman can't compete, yeah,
Yeah.
in women's sports, yeah,
Yeah.
because they have more advantage, yeah.
because the
But
genetics
then,
are different.
yeah, cool. But then a woman,
Yeah.
going into a male sport, yeah,
Can't do the same thing.
why can't she do the same thing? Because
Because
she
the
hasn't got an
genetics are different.
advantage. But she hasn't got an advantage.
yeah, but okay. If we're just gonna be stuck on the advantage, or who's got the advantage? It's like
Yeah.
it's like
Technically, that is the whole point.
it is the point. It is the point why it is the initial argument as to why you wouldn't want a male competing in a female sport. But it's not just about who's got the advantage. It's that for example, there'll be certain sports, yeah, maybe I don't know, maybe a sport to do with some kind of agility or something, where actually women excel more than men. It's not going to be every single sport that men excel more than women. There's going to be certain things where women excel more. And it's the, maybe she'll be slightly more, I don't know, agile or more nimble, or because she's ever so slight, she's slightly lighter, so she's able to she's able to stand on the whatever it is. So I feel like rather than looking for it's like, no, have you been a man before? Have you been a woman before? Listen, you can't do it. And I think that's fair.
To be fair, yeah.
Yeah, but you think it's fair,
But-
but for these people, this is the
It's-
fight that they're fighting.
yeah,
They want
this
to be
is their
accepted
life.
as a woman. They want to be accepted as a man. To then tell them you can't do the thing that you've been doing for the last 20 years of your life, then that's now going to be, like I say, as much as my opinion might be to the contrary, they will be in the courts fighting against this.
Yeah. Without a
It's
doubt.
just a real how you
doubt, yeah.
can't legally find a perimeter for this because it's such a weird and shaky ground. Like,
And it's grounds that we haven't really been on
no, never been
at
on
all.
these grounds, no.
Because you know what? Just ain't been on it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's true. Look at that. The runner. I think it was a black.
thank you. The women, they told us she got too much testosterone. The South African
Winning
the South
everything,
African-
breaking all the
yeah,
records.
yeah,
It's like okay, randomly we've now got this woman competing who used to be a man, and now all the records are smashed.
Yeah.
Number 400 goes
Smashed.
into number 400 goes into swimming. Like it's like
It
come
don't
on,
make no
You
sense.
know
That's
what
what-
it's like. Common sense has to prevail at some stage. At some stage, it's like okay, you know what? I know this is crazy, but we're just gonna leave it to common sense on this one.
Because
But
it
common sense ain't so common.
it looks at it as, okay, cool. This guy was a. Let's look at the exploitation aspect. Yeah, this guy was a failing swimmer. Yeah, he was
It's true.
competing, and he was a failing swimmer.
Yeah.
Now he's number one. Money rolling
career
in.
boost, yeah.
Career boost.
You really get like if I come to an all-time low and I'm like, shit, this is not working, man. Damn.
Is it that? You know what I mean? Is it that bad?
Yeah, I could train up and I could turn to a woman and be like the world champion boxer or something.
And some people love their sport and will. And briefly, you said been competing for 20 years for this and is that fair? Well, what is it fair for the woman who was born a woman, who's still a woman, who's been competing for 20 years?
No, it's
No,
who
it's
has
not.
no chance.
Of course it's
No
not
chance
fair
to
at all.
beat this guy.
But
Do you know
this
what I
is
mean?
where we are. This is what we kind of like.
Are we gonna let-
This is where society is. So these are the questions you've got to.
Are we gonna start doing this in boxing next? Like if I start taking estrogen pills,
Yeah.
are they gonna let me in the ring with a woman?
That's my point. If things go
How would
wrong,
they do that
I'm
in
not
terms of
making
weight?
money.
In terms of they'll
I'll be
fight, they'll
heavyweight.
figure it out.
I'll be heavyweight.
Yeah.
woman.
Oh, yeah.
So do I get in there with like? It's just I say no seriously. If Anthony Joshua starts taking estrogen pills, are they gonna let him now start? Like, oh no, we won't do that because something could, someone could really get hurt. So then where do you stop the line?
Exactly. It's like no legal perimeters for that. It's just like it's not. If it's a moral perimeter, we've already like just curved so many lines to the morality because the morality depends on where you're standing.
Exactly.
There's no agreed principle with this. It's like there's many rights and wrongs on both sides. But all the rights on this side are kind of just down to the person and their feeling of acceptance and civil liberty.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything else kind of says like, no, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But
it's
one
where you
thing,
are, so-
the hardest thing is you can't trample on his people's civil liberties.
Well, I think it all ties into the same thing with toxic masculinity. This whole kind of movement that everyone wants to jump on board and salute. It's like it's all kind of just leading down the same path, just a path of illogic. Where we're like, okay, well, you feel like that, so now we've all got to adhere to these rules, but it's not logically, it's not genetically logical.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree.
Oh,
I'd agree.
madness.
As humans, we're probably so far away from like how we was originally intended to live that it's ridiculous anyway. We was looking at like something the other day, and it's like angels, what they really look like.
what they
by the
really look like,
description
yeah.
in the Bible.
Like, what's your depiction of an angel? What would you think an angel look like?
Without the whole biblical thing, I just like, what's that? Peter Pan. kind
Yeah,
of
like
thing.
a little cute,
yeah,
a little
yeah.
cute thing. Yeah, like a cherub. Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
But if you actually read the scriptures, they don't look like that at all. Never has it ever said that an angel looks like that. So all these people are like,
soldiers of
an
soldiers
angel
of God.
came
Yeah.
and it looked so graceful and they all dressed in white. And she told me, like, no, you saw something in your head.
Yeah.
As angels, by biblical definitions, are some real scary looking creatures.
Yeah, yeah.
You wouldn't want that popping into your room at night.
Things
Like-
with different heads.
Yeah, we
Nah,
always
it's
talk about the
crazy.
cherubims are
Yeah.
like, the cherubims are basically like got human bodies and animal heads. Very similar to like what you find in Egypt, in terms of like obviously Horus and like a lot of the deities there all kind of have animal heads and human bodies. But like, yeah, like the depiction of it is so far away from what we would expect. We're probably living in such a fool's paradigm right now. Like everything we're living on is a
Based on Hollywood.
complete- Yeah, complete
Yeah.
Hollywood remix of like what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's weird 'cause we look at what it was and we just like it goes over our
We
heads.
read
like,
it.
we
It's
just-
like
yeah.
it's there in full scriptures. It's
Yeah.
there and written, but you watch this movie next tomorrow and
And that's all. And that's all. Yeah. And that
and
sticks
it's
in our
got
heads.
this cherub flying around, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's an angel.
Oh, yeah, my guardian angel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And yeah, all these sayings and stuff.
I
That's
believe
true.
they call that a new world order, just by definition. Like whether that is like the new world order, but by definition, it probably is. When you start to, was it you? I was talking about the musical frequencies.
Yes, you were.
So
The low frequency and the high frequency,
Yeah.
how it's been messing us up.
yeah, so we're creatures of everything we work upon is frequency.
Frequency, yeah.
Like emotionally, like everything is frequency. You can kind of
Yeah.
gauge the room where you walk in because you gauge emotion frequency.
Yeah.
So you got some music listen to is like, oh, some music will get you like all frequency. So in the West, the frequency we tune our instruments to is regarded as like a devilish frequency. Like the positive frequency, I think is used like a lot of Indian music and the Indian tuning system. But
In the Western world,
yeah,
It's weird because as you say that, I've never heard what you're saying before. I've never heard that concept before, but it's true. I
Go
don't
check
listen
out-
to Indian music, but actually the Indian music I just think of upbeat. Yeah,
Well,
just
more
like
light.
check
Makes
out-
you feel
everyone's
better.
happy.
Makes
Yeah,
you
check out
literally,
John-
I can walk into a room and just start dancing to Indian music because it's just that kind of.
check out John Lennon. This is you and people listening as well. Check out John Lennon because after he went through his Yoko stage of understanding and learning, he started re-recording his songs in the different frequency, in the higher frequency.
Wow.
he started recording all these popular songs in the high frequency.
Legend.
John Lennon.
John Lennon. Okay.
And,
That's
short,
it.
and
See, that was a generational thing.
all right,
And
all right,
shortly-
all right, all right.
He heard John Legends. Like,
and shortly after, for the conspiracy theorists, he was assassinated.
Oh my days. So
So-
those songs, right? Are they actually out? Can you hear those songs?
You
They're
can find it on YouTube. Yeah,
YouTube, yeah.
interesting. Yeah, I'll look for that later. Actually,
it's interesting
interesting,
because
yeah.
you think about it, in the Western world, it's like it's like they're tuning us to be a certain way.
yeah,
Yes.
You know, and if a popular person of that time, John Lennon, one of the greatest, biggest Beatles, is trying to change the perception that we have of music and retune our core. Imagine,
It's deep, you know.
and then all of a sudden he gets assassinated.
That is deep.
It's a lot of
That
deep
is
stuff.
deep.
I've got a clanger to drop you with to end it with, right? So the whole thing, which I really don't participate in Black History Month, whatever. Our history has never been a myth, never been something to discover. It's always been right there.
Yeah,
The first people on this planet, black people. You find the first remains black. The whole mystery has always been, where does everyone else come from? It's true. Like where you could tell me where white people come from, then you can't factually say that. You can say
They
like,
got.
it
T,
might
everyone
be-
knows they got trapped on an iceberg. T.
oh, see what I'm saying? There?
Yeah.
It might like
No, but actually that's the
came
story,
out
though,
of
isn't
caves,
it? That's the story.
moved across to different lands and genetically modified due to like the sun and whatever,
Yeah,
whatever.
that's what it is.
We don't know that. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
historically you got to think for our civilization continually learning and evolving and having all these discoveries. They always want to learn to understand. So all the effort gone into learning where they come from, and we still don't have answers. I think that's behind a lot of the problems we have today in society. Like a lot of things that have happened have been due to that, in terms of like land grabs, eradications of people's stories, eradications of civilizations, eradication of history. A lot of things kind of feed into the same thing. There's like a lot of, we live in a completely kind of like stand on a false ground, so to speak.
Of course. But we're living in their world. As in
New world
as
order.
in, yeah.
I don't know. Like, yeah, when you really think about some things, it's like, there's some shit going on. But we don't really want to jump 2 feet in because, you know, it's like, what can you do about it?
We ain't got the money, bro.
Exactly.
That's what it really boils down to. We haven't got the money and the infrastructure to actually do something about it. So
it's the kind of thing where you dedicate your life to it, isn't it? Once you learn certain things, you can't unlearn them, and then it's like you dig deeper and you dig deeper, and then you've hit your level of YouTube now. YouTube hasn't really got much of, so it's like now how
so
do you go?
you travel to Egypt.
Yeah, literally. So that's the next stage. So it's like,
So now that was a little slide thing. You understand it?
No, that wasn't.
No, it wasn't. You understand? We understand.
I get it now. I get it.
Bitch, nigga. We understand.
Man gets me every week. Remember that, yeah?
I was raised.
I don't know if you watched last week. I had some jumper on.
He didn't.
I think I watched it. I did watch it.
Alright, cool.
That's the one you sent me. I watched half of it.
But yeah.
Anyway, see, but I was raised with this kind of understanding. I was at a very early age. My dad was always into this kind of thing. So anything like kind of outside of a systemic system, I've kind of been injected for a long time. So my ability to digest information is probably a lot better than other people because this is not new. A lot of other people discover like, oh, Illuminati. It's like, oh, they own this, they own that. It's like, it blows their mind. They start getting all weird with it. Like, a lot of these things are just very natural because I've known about it. I was reading Tony Browder from like age 10. You understand? So,
right.
Noam Chomsky from like age 14. Like, so a lot of these things are not new, so to speak. So, yeah, we talk about like the YouTube generation. Yeah, I think a lot of people do get their learning from YouTube, but unless you've got a footing, I think it might be hard to kind of digest information.
Or even find the right information.
Find the right information and kind of source check. Like,
Yeah, source check is the hardest thing because, I was playing something today and my girl was like, how do you know that's real?
Yeah.
Source check is
My
that.
previous job was like, I was a researcher in the BBC and all sorts. So, I understand how to source check. I understand how to, like, if I see an article, I don't just repost it. I look at who wrote the article.
Where did it come from?
I Google that person, see whether they exist for starters, what their political alignments are, who they're working for. You got to understand, like, what it is and where it's coming from. So,
that is a lot
I
of the
reject
problem.
your notion as a YouTube, maniac.
That wasn't my
I'm a
notion.
researcher.
But that is a lot of the problems with today's generation. Not just reading, just reposting something that they've seen because it's sensational. So it's come up on your phone and it's like, oh my God,
Oh my day.
I'm
Yeah,
reposting it. You know?
Did you see what thing posted on the?
So it's like, but you don't even know whether that's actually true or not because you haven't even been bothered to even just Google the place that the person that's posted it. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. I'm not gonna because it's probably a whole podcast in itself, and I don't want to get your podcast cancelled as well. But very similar to even what's going on with
You can't get cancelled if you're
Russia,
not
Ukraine.
in the public, man.
Do you know what I mean? And everything, and it's like we're all being given one narrative of the situation. Literally, when I say literally given one narrative, we're literally not allowed to see the other narrative. Like they've now banned RT News. They've now banned, if anyone's posting too much showing. Just facts.
Yeah, facts.
Facts. No propaganda, but just facts.
I find it so insulting. I find like
so
it's kind of like looking at people saying, "Oh, you're really dumb." So we're saying Russia are making sure they're propagandists. You can't hear any other information on Russian TV. At the same time, they're doing the same thing. It's like, do you not think we can see that? So
What were you saying the other day about China? About how they were not showing the information, every other news media apart from the UK and the US.
I think that was specifically a conversation we was having where on that day, all the other news stations around the world were kind of running with China's possible role in solving this whole thing.
Yes.
Whereas I went on to Sky News, BBC News, they were still just on. We're in Ukraine now. We're talking to Tell me, so how was your journey? And like, but it's you very much get gendered news, and then you start looking at who owns like the news companies, and then you're like, oh, Comcast.
It is so hard to get impartial news. I think maybe because of the money behind it. Listen,
yeah.
I thought before, you know what? I'm just gonna start an impartial news, whether it's just something like this, or because it's so hard to get it. But then it's just
I find Russell Brand like the most impartial news.
Yes.
Hello, you 5 million.
Yes.
Offices of human life and energy. I hope you all tuned in so that we can discuss the issues and hopefully come to a conclusion which forms an eradication of the current civilization. But I find this guy has got way more balanced news than you're gonna find other places.
Yes. And he did. What did he used to? Because I remember him from just a kid.
He used to be a comedian.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah. Fair credit to him, because he's been doing what he's doing now for years. I checked into him at 5, 6. He's been doing this for how long? Like 10 years or so. He's in deep. And at first, I know everyone kind of like cancelled him, didn't they? Kind of like, this guy's crazy.
He did something though. They tried to cancel him because
they're still trying to cancel him. We're still putting down as a right-wing maniac. They supported Joe Rogan, got him like more like anti-vaxxer and all this. They kind of try to catch him every week.
Yeah.
But I remember back in I don't know when it was, but something he did something, and they wanted to like literally probably.
I think I do remember.
It could have been it's Russell Brand. It could have been
that was done low. That was uncalled for.
But it's true.
No, I think he did do something. Something happened, and it was kind of like, this guy, you can't discredit. That whole thing. If you can't kind of cancel them, discredit them. So anything that comes out of his mouth, don't listen to that. And I remember watching him, like, he's making real points, and I'm agreeing with everything he's saying. But in the back of my mind, I'm going back years ago, I'm thinking, I can't trust this guy. And I didn't even know why. Do you know what I mean? I didn't even know why. But I was taught not to trust this guy. It's weird. It's
I
really
think a lot of people kind of more aware, more savvy about the information they're taking in now. I think I'm not sure where the kind of, if malaise of ignorance still lies. I think it's in Middle England where you're still very much reliant on ITV News, and anything outside of that is all a bit ethnic.
Yes.
So they're like, no, it's...
Yes.
But yeah, I think it's...
Can't watch Al Jazeera.
Yeah. Those people are the most dangerous. We always say the middle class are the most dangerous people on the planet. And they are, because they sleepwalk us all into everything.
Yeah.
Like, just happily like, I got to my house, so I'm fine. And, just sleepwalk to every situation. We don't get any kind of social reform or social justice or things like that, because you only got to appease those key demographic of voters. And this is good.
And they're more or less happy with their lives.
So
there's nothing to change.
Unless you're getting more immigrants into the country. That's it. Like, the only thing that makes me happy is more coloured faces and more languages at their local shop.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, it's true.
I think that's a Donald Trump thing. Like, you kind of, and the Farage thing, you kind of got to know your demographic and know, like, outside of political correctness, you can get that demographic there, then you're cool. Yeah.
Trump really solidified that. Like, as long as I've got the demographic that I need, I can say and do whatever I want.
And I can just say now, Donald Trump is now, even by some people on the left, be taking us like, oh shit, we need that guy back. Ain't that crazy? Like, some things that Donald Trump said, they're like, oh my God, he's right. Pertaining to this Russia thing, he was saying years ago, like, this is going to be an issue, but it would never happen on his watch. Yeah. And then people were like, shit, they wouldn't disrespect Trump like the way they disrespecting Biden.
Yeah.
But in terms of that Russia thing, what have you been seeing? You said, obviously, we're just getting one narrative. What's the other narrative that is out there?
The other narrative?
Yes.
Well, that's actually a good question. It's actually, to be honest with you, to be 100% honest with you, at the beginning, I was following the narrative. And then it kind of got a bit harder to even find the information because they've cancelled so much, media. And then as of like the last week or so, I haven't really pushed it too much. From what I had seen before, a lot of it was to do with, from what I had been seeing anyway, Crimea and NATO advances. So essentially, if at some point in the future, NATO got hold of Ukraine, took over Ukraine, basically, Russia would never be able to get Crimea back because obviously now it's NATO, you know.
Yeah,
and Russia aren't silly; they're not going to go and bomb a NATO. It's World War III.
Well,
So-
I think they already took Crimea, and basically the whole thing was that they didn't want Ukraine to join because obviously that put NATO on all of their borders from Estonia,
On all of the
Georgia,
borders, yeah.
like all the bordering countries have like NATO forces there, and you just can't.
When you say they took Crimea, you mean Russia took Russia? got
Yeah.
Crimea. Yeah, Russia have Crimea, but there's a fresh water supply from Ukraine. So basically, Crimea's ever since the Russians reclaimed Crimea. Sorry, ever since they reclaimed Crimea, Crimea's been dying a slow death, and the reason the land itself, I think it's like 2,000 inhabitants. As well, but obviously it's very rich in minerals and in oil, as you guys know. It's worth billions to the economy yearly. It's been dying a slow death, and that's because there's a fresh water supply from Ukraine that Ukraine have shut off. That's actually fact. That's actually fact. Yeah, you
So,
can Google that one.
This is when Putin spoke about the denazification. Obviously, like the Crimeans will be considered like the ethnics, the Russians in there.
Yes.
The Russian ethnics, and
Yes.
Ukraine's kind of obviously they've enlisted. I probably spoke about this last time. The Azov, which is like
The
a
Azov.
Nazi group of Nazi fan bases, kind of joined together to form a battalion, and they empowered them to kind of deal with the ethnic Russians. So
Okay.
that's where this whole Ukrainian Nazis thing comes from.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That's just news to me.
I aim to impart knowledge.
So yeah, I think so you know, so yeah, that the fresh Crimea is dying a slow death, and I think so. Yeah, I think Russia reclaimed it in the Crimean War, didn't they? That's when they reclaimed it. So that land's been dying. It's obviously coupled with the fact that NATO are obviously on their borders. There's more stuff. A bit of it slipped my head right now. I didn't come prepared with it, but yeah, and it's kind of like if he doesn't, it's like act now to save to maintain Russia, USSR or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But to act now to maintain Russia and their people, which are already so compressed by the Western world and by NATO. So it's like Putin, from what I know, is doing the best for his people. It's just like, you know, just like how over at this side of the world, we do the best for our people.
Best for our people, yeah.
And that's what it is. But obviously, because of how the agenda is, it kind of, you know, he needs to, you know, they're trying to crucify him. Like I say, discredit him in the media, discredit him on a big platform. I genuinely believe that there's certain Russians that tap in, just like some of us tap into RT news. There's Russians that tap into our news, and they're like, yeah, you know what, Putin is doing this, and it's just misinformation. And so there are people I believe in Russia that are against Putin.
Oh yeah,
I still believe that Russia is with Putin, very much so. But I believe that there's definitely people in Russia that are against him.
You can't.
And
and
it's like
be one.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, it's like, it's so interesting because wait a minute, Putin is not, from what I see, Putin's goal, right, by the way, this is a guy who has fought with Africans and fought with black people. Do you know what I mean? So black people, like, I'm talking to black people specifically, Putin is not our enemy. And that is not, it's important. It's important.
We know that, we say that in this show every
yeah.
The thing is, you know what it is? I'm not sure he's our friend.
Yeah.
But in this whole fight against
he's not our enemy.
Global supremacy of the elite,
Thank you.
central banking, the IMF system, which holds our countries hostage, he is probably one of the last fighters. So you take Russia out, then you got no real opposition to this whole megalithic empire, which is just swallowing everything into one world agenda.
Can I say, Putin had a quote, right, about Africans that is so powerful. Like really.
Would you like to read it to us to end the show?
I don't even have the quote. It's just in the top of my head. Yeah, I didn't even know I was going to talk about this. Honestly, yeah. Quickly. Putin, he said that Africa is like a big cemetery. Yeah, you might have seen it. He said that an African man, Africa's just a cemetery. So the African man, what did he say? Buys his clothes from Italy. He buys his car from Germany. He has a savings account in Switzerland. He eats food from France or whatever, and he just goes to Africa to die. And that, and he was kind of like, and he continued to say, I can't paraphrase him, but he continued to say, look, you guys need to stop putting everyone else on a pedestal and start, you know, putting that kind of back into Africa. Man, do you know what? He just said it. He said it all there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I gave that quote in week 2, but you actually gave the full version. I really just kind of kind of picked it apart.
Right,
But your
right,
one,
right.
yeah, that was like
Yeah.
literally,
Yeah.
almost
So, yeah.
word for word kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, right. I am actually gonna end the show now.
Why? Wait, they gave us extra time. They gave us extra time.
It's turning it up.
It's been a great show, guys.
Yeah, we
Your
can.
girl's Crusty Foot, sponsored by Kiss a Kemet every time.
Trust me.
Cream your girl's Crusty Foot, as we always say.
Cream it.
Mr. T, Delaney.
Laney.
It's
Trust me.
been an epic show. Thank you
Yes.
very much.
Yeah, thank you for coming down today.
Come on, man.
All right,
Yes.
we'll see you all next week.
Indeed. Bye.
Peace.